So I look pretty bad right now. Hair nappy. Nothing worth looking at on my body. And it's Mr.'s born day. A day to celebrate. For sure. So I'm going to be cute in a few hours. Meanwhile, I figure out some deliciousness to make for dinner. And also some more deliciousness to make to take to the in-laws. And clean up the house. That's going to take forever. Right now, I'm in a situation where I'm currently not meditated. Haven't been for a while. Can't be for another couple of weeks. Because I had a booty check. I got a little, you know, uncomfortable going in. I wasn't panicky. It wasn't that level of anxiety. But I wasn't comfortable. Going in, that is. But I had the best doctor, I think. Hence her being hell and a half to get in to see. You can't see her. And once you get in. So I wanted to get in because once you get in, you're in, right? And so I keep dropping shade at her about, you know, I'm getting older and if there's an emergency, it's hard to get in. It's hard to see you, bitch. You know, right? So she was like, yeah, but my assistants, you know, I knew what she was going to go into. That's what Pharmaco does. She went into this thing about how trustworthy, you know, she personally educated her assistants to be able to do a lot of the things that she can do and blah, 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 blah. And I actually believe her. But I don't know how good she is at reading character of people, because in this day and age, your character is as vital as your actual skill. And so you can be the most skilled individual in the world if you're not morally balanced. I can't say I can't because you have to, because the system is set up where you have to. But generally speaking, I can't trust you with my health and therefore my life. If I don't respect you like that. And until I know that your character is on the up and up, I can't. But I love her. Oh, I'm under 180 pounds, bitch. I'm under 180 pounds. Yes. Mr. and I have been consistently doing yoga at night and cardio in the morning. I've told you that in several videos by now. Several videos that I have yet to post because I'm always late posting, even though I post regularly. Daily. Shit. And don't let me get to session. Them videos long as hell. Ooh, ain't nobody got time for it. But, you know, I can get off my chest, share memories and moments. Who else gets to see them? And if nothing else, I'd like to leave a legacy of love when I sign up out of this mug. Anyway, Mr. had to take off work to, y'all know he's a workaholic, but he didn't mind. He loved it. So he took off work to drive me because they felt like they needed to do both a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. You would think a pre-med person would know, right? So he took off work. And for those of you who know what this is, the overall prep for the procedure is a bitch. I'm glad I didn't read too much before going in, because you got to start the day before your procedure and you can't eat anything. You can't have anything except clear liquids. You know, it's weird. Don't think you'll be starving, because you won't. You won't be hungry per se, because 350 and electrolytes. Oh, I did PG 3350 and electrolytes for oral solution. There's a powder that comes in this, and you got to fill it up with water. It's a gallon. The day before, you can't have anything except clear liquids. The night before, you have to start that evening around 6, they said. And you have to drink an 8-ounce glass of this stuff every 15 minutes until you finish half of it. Everybody said it tasted unbearable. Mr. included, I let him taste it. It tasted unbearable. But it didn't. It just tasted like thick, salted water. Thick, salted water. Not over salted, but you could taste the saltiness. It just tasted like thick, salted water. Not even thick, really. It's the consistency of, I want to say glycerin, but it's not that thick. It's just slightly thicker than water, but it is slightly thicker than water. I did my best to drink a glass every 15 minutes. For the most part, I did it more so every 20 minutes. So it took me a little bit longer. So the next process is supposed to clean you out, right? So I guess this was my colonics that I was thinking about going to get. And like I said, I'm glad, because I wanted to go have colonics, but like I said, if it's anything like animals, like, you know, you go and have their anal glands express, and if you do it once, you know, allegedly you have to keep on doing it like for the rest of their lives. So I didn't want a colonic to be that situation, because I know a lot of people swear by it and they come out feeling like they can fly. But then they end up doing it regularly. I don't think it's because they have to, but like I said, that's how it works with some animals. So I don't want no parts of that. I just wanted to be a voluntary cosmetics, you know, thing to clean me out if, you know, that's what I need to do. So you drink the first half the day before, still on clear liquids only. And then the next morning, I had to finish the other half under the same instructions. And that was supposed to be starting at 9:30. But since it took me so long to suffer through this shit, and the reason why it wasn't because of the flavor like they talking about, like I just felt My stomach was all gurgly and bloated. I felt like if you drink too much water. And it was a half a gallon, so, and it was a little thicker than water, so it was like even worse. So, drank the first half, and in the morning I got up and I drank the second half. I did start an hour and a half early. Thank goodness, because starting an hour and a half early, I actually finished the time that I was supposed to finish. So if I would have started the time I was supposed to, it would have been a struggle getting it finished as early as you needed to, because you need to be done at least 4 hours before your procedure, and you can't have even a sip of water after that, allegedly, unless you're like, you know, diabetic or something, or you like got some kind of illness where you have to take your medicine every day. Then you could just have the littlest sip of water just to take your medicine. But it sounds like even that could be a problem. It don't sound like it would be a problem, because even when I drank, that's another reason why I wanted to finish a little bit early, because I knew I was gonna want to drink some water to wash that stuff down. Oof. I'm gonna go from hot to cold, y'all. That's what it is right now. Anyway, so so as I finished it, as I suspected, I sure enough got thirsty, boy. Like just before it was time for us to leave to go, I got so thirsty. But I didn't do it. I didn't drink any water. I did this, which I got from a Qigong practice. And I don't even know if this would help that in particular, but I just was doing it anyway. You know, you got pressure points. And so this is the pressure point I used to try and calm that thirst. And it worked. So we went in, and you know, it's not often that I go into a facility like this, and I like the whole staff. And it happened like that. And I'm glad, because these people about to knock me out, right? And not that I trust them, but I want to at least, you know. So I went in, and the lady at the counter, she wasn't too nice, she wasn't too dry, she was just pleasant enough, and a no-nonsense woman. And so Becky she was lit, she was handling her business. As soon as I walked in the door, bitch, I didn't even have to say anything. She just looked at me and said my name, and I was like, yes. And she gave me paperwork to fill out and sign. You know, you have to sign some shit. And, you know, why not, of course. I sat there and, you know, put my head on Mr's shoulder, because I actually felt a little lit. You know, I was, you know, they kind of blamed it on being fasted, you know, like you would have a headache. I had like a hunger headache, I guess. But I wasn't hungry, but I had that headache that goes along with that. And I didn't feel great, but it wasn't unbearable, you know, I just didn't feel good, you know, felt kind of bloated and didn't feel good. And oh, and let me tell you, when you finish this in the morning, like, you know you've done good when you start pooping clear liquid. Now, when I first was told that didn't make sense to me. First of all, I don't poop regularly to begin with, and when I do poop, I just go real fast and come out. It's not like a struggle, or, you know, it's not diarrhea, and it's not a struggle. So the whole concept of diarrhea-ing was, I was, in my mind, like, you got to be sick to your stomach to either throw up or have diarrhea. But I wasn't sick to my stomach. I didn't feel, like I said, I didn't feel good, but I wasn't sick to my stomach. But to go in and, first of all, liquid out of your butt don't sit well with me. That just reeks of something ain't right? And then much less, I can't fathom that. You can imagine that I can't fathom pooping clear liquid. Really? I'm a poop liquid? That'll be interesting. It happened. But, yeah, I didn't have to go. You know, there's a concern. You're like, well, what about if on the way there I have to go? You know, and you can't. What you gonna do? You know, it's clear liquid at this point. You can't even stop regular diarrhea. You sure ain't gonna be able to stop no straight up liquid. But, yeah, there was no problem. I didn't even have to go. And so, anyway, we went in, and old Becky at the reception area gave us the paperwork and stuff, just as sweet as she could be. And she was like, are you going to be here for the whole time? And y'all know Mr., so he's my rider. He sat out there. They got his phone number, you know, just in case. They called me on back. I didn't see why I would have to take off my blouse, right? At first, I was going to wear a dress. But I was like, nah, then I'm definitely have to strip naked, right? So I was like, well, let me wear a blouse and a skirt, so that potentially I can just take the skirt off. You know, the skirt and my drawers off, right? So I went in there, and she was like, you know, take off everything. And she gave me the hospital gown with the open back. And I was like, do I have to take off my top? And she was like, yeah, everything. So I said, okay. So I went to take my jacket off. And she looked, and she saw it was just a tank. with spaghetti straps. And she was like, oh, I didn't know your top was like that. She's like, you can leave that on. I was like, oh, okay, cool, right? So I took that, I left it on, put my hospital gown on, took everything else off, and I laid in the bed, and she gave me an IV, and she proceeded to ask me a series of questions, and she was asking me if I was depressed or anything, or any stress, had any stress or depression. And I was like, no more than any other person. Incidentally, people of color, beware of letting Pharmco know that you are plagued with depression. You will go on a list, bitch. You will go on a list. Don't do it. So my answer, as usual, was like, I'm not, no more depressed. I said, like, no more stress than anybody else is, right? Yeah. I'm going through things, you know, just like anybody else. So I saw her write, and I was like, don't write that down there. I was like, because I know how y'all don't put that down. And so she was like, okay. She was like, okay. You know, she knew what I was getting at. I was like, don't put that down. Don't put me down in no depression thing. Even if I'm deep in the throes of depression, bitch, don't put that down. But at the same time, I can't lie. I can't, like, just come out and lie. I will to Pharmco, because they don't give a fuck about you. Yeah, I just told her, I was like, yeah, just no more than anybody else, right? And so we started talking about that. And then she asked me if I was pregnant. And so I responded to her, and needless to say, she and I had quite a kiki about that. And then at this point, I'm really making sure I charm everyone that I come in contact with. I want, when people are in the medical industry, are taking care of you, be a charismatic, charming motherfucker, because you want them to take care of you. So I got her on my team. She gave me my little IV. And I was surprised she wasn't going for my arm. She went straight into the back of my hand, which is actually been the most beneficial place for people to go, because something with my veins. I couldn't even be a junkie if I wanted to. People can't find no veins in me for some reason. It looked like I can see them, but I guess they have to be juicy somehow or something. I don't know. Anyway, she gave me papers to sign too, and I was like, well, she said, this is the papers so that Dr. such and such can do the procedure. And I said, can I get a copy of that? She was like, sure, you know. I like these people because there are some things that I ask them about and or for that a lot of medical facilities will side-eye you like you're doing something wrong. Like, why would you want a copy of that? Like, it doesn't even make sense, right? But anyway, I said, can I get a copy? And she's like, oh, yeah, sure. I'll get you a copy. And so she did. She came right back with a copy. Yes, bitch, yes. Thank you. So she told me my anesthesiologist would be in a minute, right? And in the meantime, this other lady, and everybody in there was mature, too. Wasn't no kids running around. Thank you. Thank you, nurses. Thank you, faculty, medical faculty, for hiring grown people to take care of business. Yeah, I don't need no. Yeah, thank you. Shout out. So this other lady with this ponytail, I think the youngest person there was the actual anesthesiologist. And so this woman with this ponytail came in with the anesthesiologist, and she introduced him. And she was just as sweet. She came in sweet as pie, too. She was like, this is such and such. She said, you know, my mom's coming in to get hers tomorrow. And I told them I wanted him, right? So she's assuring me that this is the guy. You know, you got the 5-star staff is what she was saying to me, right? Not just him, everybody. But in this particular case, she didn't want me to be uneasy. So she was letting me know that her mother was coming in tomorrow, getting her procedure done the next day. And that she, you know, because she trusted with her. And so I was like, okay. And the anesthesiologist, he looked like he might be Pakistani. And he seemed a little shy and reserved. But that wasn't going to last long with me. You finna come out your shell, boy. We finna be best friends. Because you got to put me under. We finna be besties. Okay? He sat down and he explained to me that he was going to be giving me a mix of Propofol or whatever that shit is that Michael Jackson was on. And Fen something else. Not Fentanyl, but Fen something else. And so, all I know is when he said Fen, I was like, what's that? Because I was thinking Fen. Okay. And so I was like, what else? And so he told me, and I can't remember what he said, but at the time I was kind of out of it. Like I said, I felt a little bit high. And even though I hadn't had any drugs other than the loose goose booty juice. All I know is I didn't want to hear fentanyl. So it was Propofol and Propofol or whatever Michael Jackson stuff was. And Fen something else. So the lady next to him was like, are you comfortable? Basically, are you comfortable going in? You know, in terms of anesthesiology. And who's eager to be knocked out? Who's eager to be unconscious that never has been for an hour? Who's comfortable with that? So I was like, no. I was like, I'm not comfortable with it, but you know, I know you guys gotta do what you gotta do. And she started explaining stuff, and I'm like, wait. I was like, I said, I know you guys got to do what you got to do. I'm just being honest when I answer you and say, you know, I'm not eager to be put under. But let's do this thing, right? And so, you know, just calm yourself. I'm not going to, you act like I'm going to get up and start fist fighting y'all not to be put under. I'm here for it. So I was like, back up and let the Sandman finish hollering at me, okay? So the Sandman finished explaining everything. And I literally started calling him the Sandman. I think he thought it was low-key cute. So he finished explaining everything to me. And he looked a little younger. He looked like he was more in his 30s and early 30s, but graying at the facial hair. But you could tell he was trusted in the facility. He was well trusted in the facility. And probably some other facilities too, because he had his little satchel like he came there for that. Okay, this is what he shows up to do. Then after that, he leaves and the first nurse comes back and she gives me with a clipboard for a paper. It was a yellow paper to sign to approve the anesthesia. So she put it in front of me. She said, I'll just let you read that because I know you like, she said, I'll let you just go ahead and keep that because I know you like to read. Because I asked her for a copy of that first thing. I asked her for a copy of everything that I signed. And I was like, yeah, but my eyes aren't, girl, my eyes was high too. You know, y'all remember when I said when I meditated, and if I meditated late at night, there comes a time where you can't ask me to read nothing, not without my glasses. Like, you know, here now, if I was put something in front of me, I wouldn't read it easily, but I could squint my eyes and figure it out. But in that moment, prior to the procedure, my eyes weren't working. I was looking at her like, you ain't got my reading to worry about. I just want a copy of everything so I can read it later when my eyes come out of anesthesia. Because my eyes are out. Apparently the loose goose booty juice put my eyes out of commission. My eyesight, anyway. So I got the clipboard and I signed it. And then they came in to roll me back to the, I want to say operating room, but it's not an operating room. I'm gonna say it. They rolled me back to the operating room. I've never been conscious of being wheeled in a stretcher in a medical facility. I've been wheeled through a hospital before, but I wasn't conscious or aware to recall experiencing that. But I have walked down the hall while somebody else was being wheeled on a stretcher in a hospital. So it was weird that I was the one in the hospital bed, right? So they're talking to me while we're going back there, and they wheel me into the room and they put me up next to the machine, and they start talking to me, and I start talking to this nurse, and I was talking about all the ways I tried to make myself regular that didn't work, and the one time that I did find something, how they took that off the shelves. Probably could have been a good reason, I don't know, but the point is that was the only thing that even remotely did what it said it was going to do. I told about the castor oil, but the actual doctor was saying, that that's not something that you want to take every day. Miralax though apparently is okay, but which I've been given Miralax in a hospital before, and it did work in that situation, but it generally doesn't always work. If there's something that will work the first time, it might not work later. So I've gotten in the habit of not getting happy even when something works. It has to work a second time for me to be convinced. Cause stubborn bowels or some shit, I don't know. But it's apparently not IBS. That's a good thing. So they told me to lay on my side, right? And they had my hand down. And I asked her if I could put it up under the pillow that was under my head right here. And then she told me to put my hand on my waist. And then she told me to put one of my knees in front of the other one, lay with my other knees in. I know what that was, so my ass would be propped up. And when she told me to do it, she was giving me all these poses and shit. And I was still half out of it, right? Not because of drugs, though. I was tired, and, you know, the doctor was saying, well, you have to understand you haven't eaten, you know, probably in 30 hours now, right? I was like, yeah, so, and she was propping me up, and I was putting my knees up so my ass would be up and stuff. And by now, it's like I got the Sandman in here. I see the Sandman. He finna get ready to go to work. And it's about 7 motherfuckers now. And this is the image. This is the whole Grey's Anatomy scrubs. This is a hospital scene that you always see on TV, right? So at this point, it's about, you know, I see a couple of more. I see so the Sandman is here. About 3, 4 nurses here. Then the actual doctor comes in. She talks to me for a minute, right? After the doctor came in, that nurse that was posing me up, she put me in one more good pose. And I said, this is not what I had in mind when I wanted to be a supermodel. They thought that was the funniest shit ever. But I was like, y'all, come on now. So then they put something in my mouth. It seemed like it was just a square block. I'm pretty sure it was to hold my mouth open. And then they put the oxygen in my nose, and I was in my pose. Again, I say to you, the scene was set where at this point there's about 7 motherfuckers, including the main doctor and the Sandman over here. I was posed. Then the nurse that put me in the poses said, okay, what is your name? And then I flashed back to everything that you see on TV, and I was like, oh, this is where they ask you your name and then ask you to count backwards. So they asked me my name, told them my name, and they said, what's your birthday? Told them my birthday. Then she said, the doctor, she looked around at everybody. This bitch is gorgeous too, by the way. I ain't tell you that this whole time, how gorgeous she is. She's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. Ooh, I don't know if she's from, I don't know. She might be from Pakistan too, but she's so beautiful. She about this, she built like this. But man, she still look healthy. She's just the epitome of visual class. Oh God, just wear her hair straight, just straight black hair. Look like the ends look freshly clipped all the damn time. Like she just trimmed them ends. Just healthy ass hair. Just fucking gorgeous. Built like a stick. But man, stunning to look at. She, stood up like after they asked me my name and birthday, she looked around at everyone. She says, we all agree that this is Tough Love Indigo? And everybody said yes. How that motherfucking Sandman sneaked that shit on me, I will never know. Because I was expecting a shot or something. Them to give you a shot to put you under. Or put a mask over your face. But it wasn't no mask. Just that thing, that plastic block in my mouth and the oxygen in my nose. That bitch said, what's your name? What's your birthday? Do we all agree that this is Tough Love Indigo? Yes. A resounding chorus of yes. And all I can remember thinking is, why she asked them if they know who I am? I just told her what my name. That's all I remember. Drugs are amazing, ain't they? So this is something that could just knock you out for an hour. Woo! They better not ever let the misogynists of the world get a hold of that stuff. You hear me? They better not ever let them get a hold of that. Boy, they'll be raping bitches. Next thing I know, I was back in the room, the original room, waking up in a pool of saliva, feeling like I just had the best nap of my life. The best nap of my life, bitch. And I didn't feel the stuff I thought it would feel. My booty hole wasn't sore. I didn't feel like nothing been in there. Okay, my throat, I didn't feel like nothing been in there. They warned us you might have a sore throat for about 24 hours, which I did the last time I was in the hospital and I had tubes everywhere. But I didn't have no sore throat. None of that happened. I didn't feel like nothing happened, except that I had a bomb-ass nap. Because that's how good my doctor is. That's how great my gastroenterologist is. So I woke up and I was talking shit. Mr. Don't Know I know, but I saw his camera. I know he recorded it. I'm not sure of everything that I said, but I could have sworn I saw his camera. And I know he was grinning the whole time he was talking to me, and he kept asking questions. He was like plugging me, asking me questions. So I just, I wiped all the drool. The nurse asked me, could she get me anything? This is another nurse that I hadn't seen before. She was sweet too. She's from Louisiana. And she lives a few streets down from us. I loved her, but I didn't want to get too close because we live too close. She might want to be friends, and y'all know I do my privacy. Anyway, and she's from Louisiana, like I said, so she was cool. Very well went through Katrina, so she know what's good in this country. And so she came in, she had a little bob haircut, and she didn't smile much, but she didn't need to. I'm that bitch. I don't need people smiling and shucking and jiving for me. Just be pleasant, and we good. I don't make assumptions of people based on whether they smile or not. Never do I do that, because I've been that bitch that people make assumptions about according to how they think that my expression should be looking for them to be able to judge it, rather than judging me on what I do and say, how my face looks. Since they do read a person that's not smiling as unapproachable and mean, then they don't fuck with you, so that's good. I'm not good with weak people anyway, so I appreciate that. I appreciate them moving the fuck on. So I don't want to call her Miss Geechee because she was white. But white people from Louisiana are not like regular white Americans a lot of the time. Half of them are not actually white. And the other half are not necessarily. They are often as oppressed as we are as black people, so they get it a lot of the time. And plus, like I said, she probably seen Katrina happen, and she know what's good in the country. But anyway, she said, can I get you anything? And I was like, yeah. I told her to bring me that fine husband of mine. That fine husband of mine. It seemed like I rolled over and there he was. So, like I said, I think he think I don't know, but I think I saw him recording me coming out of my subconsciousness. And so what she was getting at, I think, was, because they give you snacks and juice afterwards. So she brought me some Lorna Doone shortbread cookies and some apple, little mini can of apple juice. And so I got the apple juice and I drank it a little bit, and I ate a couple of cookies. I didn't eat them all because they were sweet, and I really wasn't in the mood for anything sweet. It was funny, like after fasting for a day and a half, something sweet wasn't the first thing I wanted, because I felt like my stomach was already gurgly. I felt like something sweet would really make me not feel good, make me feel like a kid who ate too much candy on Halloween. And so I took a couple of sips of the apple juice, and I ate a couple of cookies just because I was hungry. But not hungry to fill myself up. Hungry because, I don't know if it was a headache. I don't know, but I knew I should eat it. So I ate a couple of cookies. That's when Mr. was talking to, Geechee Becky. That's what I call her, Geechee Becky. So Mr. bonded with Geechee Becky and everybody else that came in there, because he's that dude, you know. And so they were talking about me and the procedure and everything, and I was too. I was talking shit in there too, because I still had people rolling. I don't know everything I said. I wish he would have had all of it recorded. I know he put his phone away after a while. I wish he would have had all of it recorded. The lady with the ponytail came back in, and she was saying her mom had hers done there. So, you know, everybody was, you know, reputable. And I was sitting there looking at her, and I'm like, did she forget that she told me that her mom was coming in tomorrow? And not that she had it done 7 years ago? But to be fair, maybe her mom was coming in to have another one done. And she had hers done. But I don't know. I don't think she lied to me, though. You know what I mean? I don't think she was lying. I'm just saying this was two different things I recall hearing about her mom having her colonoscopy done there. And another thing, I thought I was just going to have the colonoscopy. I didn't think I was going to have the endoscopy and the colonoscopy both together. But ultimately, I'm glad that I did, because our interest in the way we're handling our health in our middle age is that we are primarily just going to use PharmCo to get the test results that we need, because you can only trust. Anyway, with PharmCo, I just want a reputable person to conduct or order the test and then give us the results so we can move forward with what we feel like our next best treatment is. But again, I love this doctor right here. So then Mr. left to go bring the car around. They told him to go bring the car around. And they told me not to do anything for a couple of weeks, not to travel for a couple of weeks, not to do anything strenuous for a couple of weeks, which was kind of disheartening. I was glad to get out of the exercise that we had been doing, because we hadn't been skipping. And when we did skip, we would double up on the next exercise. Oh, Lord have mercy. So in a low-key way, I was kind of glad to be getting out of it. But at the same time, I was also low-key hating, because this means that all the progress I made has 2 weeks to go backwards. But not only has that not been the case, but I have been steadily losing weight. I don't know if we low-key gave my metabolism some speed or whatever, but I have been low-key losing weight, as if actually losing more weight than I was as I was actively exercising every day. Losing more weight, like 2 pounds a day. And it's crazy, because I was expecting the Loose Goose Booty Juice to dump pounds after all this stuff finally got out of me. I was expecting to be so much lighter, like 10 pounds, 8 to 10 pounds lighter, literally. And it didn't happen. They were I told them that too. They were laughing about that. I was like, no, I thought it was going to be, I thought this was going to be my weight loss magic, and that I was going to be able to go from there. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I didn't lose 1 pound, bitch. Not one. But the next day, I was 2 pounds lighter. The day after that, I was 2 pounds lighter. Today, which is the 3rd day, I'm 2 pounds lighter, bitch, and I'm under 180. So I hope that continues. Who knows if it will or won't. But I do know that I'm not supposed to do anything which it sounds like they didn't give me. Usually they'll give you a certain amount of poundage that you can't lift or do shit. But they was like, you know, stay rested, and like, even if you have a dog, you can't walk your dog. You can't walk your dog. Well, you can walk your dog. It sounds like if your dog is trained, you can walk your dog. But if your dog gonna walk you at all, you can't walk your dog. So I've been laying up, and I really didn't like that. There's some of this post-treatment that I didn't know was going to be a factor, because there's a lot more I wanted to do around the house, and also grocery shopping that would be heavy, that would be a little more heavy and strenuous. But I'm really, aside from milking the attention and the opportunity to rest and not do much, I really don't want to mess up nothing. You know, when you get a certain age and you realize the reality of recovery time really hits you, You don't want to mess nothing up. So, I'm not doing nothing. Okay? I'm cooking, and cooking well. Like, I don't think you have to worry about all this stuff if they didn't remove any polyps, but they did remove polyps. So, I can't, you know, do anything. And just so you know, I feel fine, and I feel a little exhausted. Not exhausted. I feel sleepy regularly. I almost said a lot, but not a lot, just regularly. Like, I feel sleepy. Not like, see, like now I'm fine, but if I get still, I'll get sleepy. And I do get still because I'm not doing much. So I'll get sleepy, which is good because that means that I should be able to sleep well. And my sleep won't be as disturbed as it might otherwise be. And I got another week and a half to chill. But, oh, I really wanted to, like I said, get the house clean. I wanted to do a lot of, you know, when Mr. comes home from work, he takes such good care of me. And I'm not even, like, sick per se, but he takes such good care of me. So I want him to come home to a clean house. I want everything to be nice. And, bitch, today is his birthday. You know, I want everything to be amazing. I want him to come home and feel refreshed. I felt really good yesterday. I did some cleaning. And he came home and he said the house smells good. So I felt good that it was enough for him to say that. You know, I hope this weight loss continues, and then when I am able to pick back up with my exercise, I pray the weight loss will continue to be a thing. Also, in post-care, there are no medications that you should take. I probably would be okay ingesting my medication in other ways, in ways other than smoking, but I don't want to play no games. They said not even aspirin, so I don't want to play no games. No, if I can't take aspirin or vitamin supplements, then I don't want to chance anything. And it's just 2 weeks. It's just 2 weeks. So, in doing this video, I'm not meditated. I'm still a goofball, but I'm not meditated. As you can see, I can function without it. I just choose not to. Which is yet another of millions advantages of my form of meditation. Pardon me. I've only been slightly gaseous after it, but it's weird because my stomach will gurgle, but it's not so much of a gaseous situation as it is, like it gurgles high up in my chest. And I also have, it occurs to me this whole video was for people that are experiencing this for the first time, to let you know what to expect. And I'm also having what feels like there are cramps in my lower back on one side. And it just feels like menstrual cramps in your back. It's fine. It's not unbearable. Just like menstrual cramps that aren't even really that terrible, but they are very uncomfortable. Last night I had an incident where I thought I was pooting, and I had just gotten comfortable because I've been pooting a little bit, so I had just gotten comfortable where I knew that they were really poots when I was pooting. But last night, just did it. But last night, I pooted a little, and it wasn't poot, girl. So I ran to the bathroom. Mr. was like, he's like, you pooped on yourself? And he started laughing. He said, I thought you was going to do that in the bed last night. And I said, you did? He was like, yeah. I was like, nah. And he was like, did you just poot or did you push it out? And I was like, I kind of pushed it out. I felt it and I kind of pushed it out. He's like, oh yeah, you got to be careful about that. So he's right. If it just comes out, it's probably poop. But if it's something that's building up and I feel like I got to help it out and push it out, be careful of those. Okay. Ever since that happened, I've been, if it's one that doesn't come out or that it just feels like it could use a push, I'll go to the bathroom first. And they still been poops and not poops. But I don't want to have that situation again and it end up worse than what it was. Because like I said, it was just a little trickle. You know, I kind of pushed it out and I was like, wait. Because it didn't make no sound, but I felt every bit of, I was like, whoa. So I went to the bathroom and all good. I know this is all TMI, but I didn't know what to expect, girl. And if you are my age or around my age, you're going to have this done at some point. And apparently, it's like every 7 years. But if they find polyps, it's you got to come back in 3 years. So I'm going to have to see them again in 2020. But I'm not going to mind this next time. I know what to expect. And in retrospect, it's not terrible. It's not that bad. But what I will do differently is, yeah, let's go down the list of things I would do differently. I would only get 1 box of Crystal Light, because I only use 1 box, and I still have half of them. Every time I drink a glass, I just put like a third of one of these in it for flavor, and because clear liquid. So I just use this to help with the taste. and it wasn't that bad. I bought some white grape juice. I bought some clear cherry Sprite, white grape juice, some apple juice. You got to get the processed stuff because they don't want you to have any pulpy anything. Because I was gonna have me some Campbell's chicken noodle soup, and I was gonna drain those noodles out because that broth is the bomb, you know. But they don't want you to have any pulpy stuff. So got some processed apple juice, you know, good stuff. But I didn't drink any of that. I brought so much extra stuff. I don't know what I thought. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I thought I was gonna be starving, and I was gonna need to eat something. And if I needed to eat something, it would need. I don't know what I bought a lot of extra stuff that I didn't need. And I bought 2 of these. I bought a Weiler's one because I bought the Weiler's one first when I couldn't find the Crystal Light lemonade. So what I would do differently is only buy 1 box of this to help me get through it. I would make sure the house was clean before I had the procedure, knowing that for 2 weeks afterwards, I can't mess around. But yeah, I would make sure the house is clean. If you have a dog, because you don't have to walk your cat. But if you have a dog and you're single, you want to make sure you have somebody to walk your dog for you. Or that you can just let him out in the backyard for a couple of weeks. And that if your dog is one that can handle that, is okay with that. Looks like it's getting pretty late. I'm going to start Mr's dinner, his birthday dinner. I'm going to change the sheets on the bed. I need to transfer some laundry. I still haven't done my hair. I plan to do my hair. And I wanted to have it blown out. He likes when my hair is blown out. He's like, why you even let your hair grow if you're not going to wear it long? Yeah, let me get stuff ready for my beautiful, beautiful husband. I'm finna go get so cute for my man. Why y'all didn't tell me Cosby Show was on? I don't want my TV on that shit. I'm not supportive. But I am supportive of the show. Because it is a good show, and it does show black family in a positive and constructive light. So this country probably loved that Pill fucked up, cause he fucked up. But I'm just saying the networks probably love it. But I do still support the show in general, and shout out to who picked them up. Shout out to TV1 for picking them up, because it is a good show that exposes the constructive black family life. And for you coons who say, who didn't like the show because you thought it was bullshit because you say ain't no family that perfect, fuck you and whoever procreated you to believe that we don't have no great black families like that. Because that's a lie in 3/4. And I love that they had a show that exposed that there are constructive, beautiful, developing black families out there. So, again, shout out to TV1 for picking it up. But fuck Pill for raping bitches, and I hope that if nothing else, that he no longer gets a kickback or residuals from the show. I think that he will probably have to. It's my boo. You know I gotta respond to him on his special day. You know, make sure he's all right at work, cause on his birthday, if they try some Trump American shit with him, I told him, and he knows I mean it. I will show up at the motherfucking job. I will. Good. This is what he sent. Can you see the headline? So a woman objected to the Confederate flag, so she got her own flag permit so she could fly her Black Lives Matter flag. Good for her. Good for her. Good for her. Ooh. Everybody should get Black Lives Matter flag now. Ooh, we should all hang Black Lives Matter flags outside. Why they want to press that Confederate flag? Okay. Virginia, duh. Fredericksburg, of course. Good for her. Represent, bitch. Some shit about Melania. Librarian's book rejection is unfortunate. Massachusetts librarian. Melania Trump has responded to a Massachusetts librarian's rejection of her book donations, calling the situation unfortunate. The First Lady sent a gift of 10 Dr. Seuss books to a school in each state early this morning to mark. One school librarian explained that the school would not be keeping the books. Thank you. She has demonstrated this in both actions and words since her husband took office, and sending books to children across the country is but one example, she said. To turn the gesture of sending young students some books into something divisive is unfortunate. Girl, bye. The librarian responded, I work in a district that has plenty of resources which contributes directly to excellence. She wrote, my students have access to a school library with over 9,000 volumes and a librarian with a graduate degree in library science. Let me back up. Mabekia, so this foreigner first lady, that's what I'm going to call her, the foreigner first lady sent a gift of 10 motherfucking Dr. Seuss books. First of all, 10 books, bitch, could have been purchased Buy a mother on welfare. A mother on welfare can buy 10 Dr. Seuss books. You ain't did nobody no favors by sending the library 10 Dr. Seuss books. That's number 2. Number 1, I doubt very seriously if kids are even reading Dr. Seuss anymore. And for a distant third, it might not be so, because Dr. Seuss, the Dr. Seuss's creator might be conservative. But if I can just reach for hope that he's a morally balanced individual, the creator of Dr. Seuss will probably offer you an unmitigated fuck you for trying to use his books in your quality control ass efforts. So, foreigner first lady, the FFL, that's what she is right now. The foreigner first lady tried it. I would like to see everyone plaster Black Lives Matter flags as much as they do the American and Confederate flags now. So the FFL thinks she can maneuver quality control by throwing a couple of books that kids don't even read anymore at a library. Question mark, exclamation point. LMAO, foreigner, first chick, first lamey. Ooh, I'm gonna call her the first lamey. I'll holler at y'all, I need to get dinner ready. Ooh, 10 minutes, ooh, shit. He's gonna be on his way home in 10 minutes, that's what that's.